the Hakuna Matata family. This is Cynthia again on the Hakuna Matata chat, and we hope you're doing fine. For us, we're doing very well. It's warm, the weather is nice. I mean, what more can we ask for? We're just fine and grateful for today. If it's your first time watching our video, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't get to miss on our next chats. And if you've been watching our videos, thank you. We really appreciate you, and we do not take your time for granted. Today I'm going to talk about something that I've been asked about on different occasions by different people: how to be a host family, or how to have an au pair, or what is the procedure, or what do you need to have, and you know what happens when you have an au pair. Before I go on, I would like to say that I'm not an expert. I'm not talking about this like an expert. I'm just sharing my experience and talking about, you know, the information I know, or what I've experienced during the period of having au pairs, because I have experience in that. I've had au pairs, so that's why I was to share this. So that was a disclaimer. The information I'll share is more about Belgium, because I have experience with the Belgian system, but I know or believe that if you're in Europe, the information or the system is similar. Maybe it could be different in age, and in the contract, and in the requirements, but the basic information I think should be similar for the whole of Europe. Who is an au pair? An au pair is a young girl of a foreign origin between the age of 18 and 30. But in this case, we are talking about Belgium, and in Belgium, an au pair has to be between the age of 18 and 26. Who comes to live in the country for a certain period of time, actually a limited period of time, to learn the culture of the country, to learn the language, to, you know, learn different things about the country, and she gets to stay with the host family. The au pair supports the host family with light housework, with childcare, in an exchange for accommodation, food, and pocket money. And while the au pair stays at the host family, then she uses that opportunity to learn the language, learn the culture, and learn new things of the country where she's staying. And who can have an au pair, or who can be a host family? In Belgium, here I'll go in details, and this is about the Belgian system. The other countries, I don't know if it's the same. In Belgium, this is what you need to have to be a host family, or to have an au pair. To be a host family, you have to have a child younger than 13 years. You can have 1, 2, you can have 3 or 4, it doesn't matter the number, but you must have children under the age of 13. Then you qualify to have an au pair, or to be a host family. You must have an extra bedroom for the au pair. The au pair must have her own bedroom, and sometimes, if possible, her own bathroom and toilet. But they don't emphasize on the toilet and the bathroom, but they emphasize on the bedroom. The au pair must have her own individual bedroom, because she needs to have her privacy as well. Plus, you must be ready to give the au pair an extra key, or her own key to your house. She has to have a key to be able to go out and come in. You must be willing to treat the au pair as part of the family. That one, they also emphasize on it. So since the au pair comes to learn the culture and the language, as a host family, you must be willing to give the au pair time, or enough time, to learn the language. So you can't say that the au pair has to go to school one day. She has to have enough time to go to school and learn the language. Before the au pair comes, there has to be a basic communication language, like how you will communicate with the au pair in the beginning. It doesn't have to be necessarily Dutch or German or French, I mean, for Belgium, but there has to be like a language you can communicate it. She doesn't have to be perfect at it, neither do you have to be perfect, but at least some some little English or some little French or some little, I don't know, depending on where the au pair is coming from. So there has to be that basic communication. So in Belgium, depending on the region, if you live in the French region, or if you live in the Dutch region or in the German region, the au pair has to go to school to learn either French or German or Dutch in this case. And once the au pair starts following the lessons or the classes, you have to switch now at home to be communicating with the au pair in the language she's learning. That is French, Dutch, or German, depending on the region. You must be able to cover the insurance for the au pair. And in this case, we are talking about health insurance, repatriation insurance, and hospitalization insurance. Repatriation insurance is for, like, in case something happens, the au pair should have insurance, like, for her to be transported back in case of, anything can happen, you never know. You must be able to pay au pair the pocket money, because au pair is in the house. She helps you with the childcare. She helps you here and there with the small light, house activities in exchange for pocket money. So you must be able to pay the au pair her pocket money. That's also one of the most important things you have to be able to do once you are a host family. More about the pocket money. In Belgium, the au pair's pocket money is minimum 450 euro. You can pay her more, you can pay her 500, 550, 600, 700 pocket money, but minimum is 450 that you have to pay the au pair every month. This payment, actually I'll talk more about the payment, the pocket money payment. When the au pair comes, she has to open an account, and once she opens an account, you have to pay her officially. You have to be transferring money or her pocket money into her private account. You can't just pay her cash. You have to pay her officially into her bank account. And what's the procedure? I mean, this is the most asked question, like, how do you get the au pair? What is the procedure? What do I need to have? Well, so the procedure is, there are two ways. I think everywhere in Europe, or in Belgium, in that case, there are two ways. One way, you can register yourself with an agency, and then an agency brings you in contact with different au pairs around the world, or they match you, and then you look through all the au pairs around the world, and you choose an au pair that you want, depending on their qualities or their experience, or I don't know, just whoever you like. That's through the agency, and then the agency does for you the whole paperwork and everything, and and you agree. Of course, you have to sign a contract also with the agencies, and to do the whole procedure. I'll talk more about the private procedure because I have experience with the private procedure. I've never used an agency, so the experience I have is actually with the private procedure, and that's what I'll talk about. In Belgium, you have to apply if you want to do it privately. If you want to do all the paperwork as a private person, you have to apply, or the host family has to apply for the work permit. And the work permit is for free, actually. It's for free. You can just have all the documents they ask and apply without paying any penny. That's interesting, right? For the work permit procedure, you can actually find all the information on the website, on the official website of the Ministry of Work and Social Economy. There you can find all the information about the au pair, but of course, it's not always clear. Sometimes if it's your first time, and I hope this video of course can help you if you're planning on starting the procedure. So first off, if you're doing it privately, you have to first identify the au pair. Which country? Of course, it has to be an au pair from a different country than where you stay. So you can't have an au pair living in the same country. The au pair has to be from a foreign origin, like we said in the beginning. And once you identify the au pair, the next step would be downloading the contract from the website, the official website of Ministry of Work and Social Economy. You can find there the contract. You download the contract, you fill it in, and it's detailed, but you just have to fill it here and there, some stuff. So you have to fill in, for example, how many kids you have, how many days will the au pair be working, how many hours will the au pair be working, because in the contract or in Belgium, an au pair has to work maximum 4 hours a day, maximum 4 hours a day, and maximum 20 hours a week, spread in 6 days, because the au pair has to have 1 day free, minimum 1 day free in a week. So the 20 hours, you can choose when you want her to use them, or maximum she has to use 4 hours per day. That you have also to specify in a contract. Then you have to also fill in the activities. What kind of activities will the au pair be doing? By the way, don't forget the main reason of the au pair coming to the country where you are should never be to help with the activities in the house or to help with the childcare. It's always to learn the culture. So be careful when you're filling in the contract that the activities are not the main reason. They have to be just light activities in the house, not like really cleaning the house. So, you know, like cooking and staying home full time with the kids. Au pairs don't do that. They can iron, they can vacuum clean the house, they can help with the cooking, they can wash the dishes, they can take care of the kids, take them to the daycare, bring them back home, put them to bed if you're not home, just in case, or play with them, take them to their activities if they have a driving license, because most families prefer an au pair with a driving license so that they can take kids from their activities and bring them back, or pick them from school and bring them back home, or take them to school, you know, stuff like that. So you have to fill in those activities that the au pair will be doing in the contract. The contract is for 1 year, maximum 1 year. So the au pair can stay in Belgium maximum for 1 year, and the contract, au pair contract, can never be renewed after 1 year. However much the au pair good is, you can't renew their contract. So it's 1 year, and the work permit is also for 1 year, and the visa is also for 1 year. So literally everything about the au pair is 1 year. Once you have the contract downloaded and filled it in, you prepare it. You need 3 copies actually. So you prepare the copies to be sent to the au pair where she lives. You sign them. If you're a couple, you both have to sign. And if you're a single parent, you just have to sign alone. Once the contract is ready, these are the documents that au pair has also to have ready to apply for the work permit. The au pair must have an international passport. So the au pair should send you a copy of their international passport. An au pair must be, like I said, minimum 18 years of age. An au pair must have gone to school minimum up to the 18 years of age, and must have studied up to the level of joining high school. So the au pair must give you her education qualifications showing the level she stopped at. So it must be at a level of joining high school. So basically after secondary school, like the 6th year of secondary school, depending on the system of their education, of course. The au pair must have certificate of good conduct from Interpol. And this certificate of good conduct must be legalized by the Belgian embassy. So once she gets the letter from Interpol in her country, she takes the letter to the Belgian embassy, they legalize it. The au pair must have a medical report. This medical report is also to be downloaded from the same website where you download the contract. So it will be better or easier when you download the contract, you download also the medical report and you send it together with the contract, so that when the au pair has to sign the contract, she also goes to the clinic or to the doctor to get checked. And by the way, the medical report has to be done by a recommended doctor or in a recommended clinic. In most countries where Belgium has an embassy, they always have a specific doctor or a specific clinic that they recommend, and all these official documents like medical report, they must be done from there. And that costs money again. To sum it up, for the work permit application, the au pair must send you a copy of her passport, certificate of good conduct, legalized, education qualifications, and a medical report. That's on the side of the au pair. And as a host family, these are the documents you need to have to apply for the work permit. You need to have, of course, the application. You need to fill in the application form. The application form is also to be downloaded from the same website, and plus the contract signed by the both parties, the au pair and the host family, plus family composition. That's to see how many kids you have, how many adults are in the house. Or every adult who lives in the house has also to have a certificate of good conduct. You also have to attach it. Anyone above 18 living in the family must attach their certificate of good conduct. And then you have to attach the identity cards of both partners. If you're a couple, if you're alone, of course, if you're a single parent, you attach only your ID. And then you have to, just like I said, that the au pair comes to learn the culture and the language. You have to book for the school where she will learn the language before she comes. And this is in official schools. So in Belgium, this will depend which region you live in. If you live in the Dutch side, you book Dutch school. If you live in the French side, you book the French school. If you live in the German side, you book a place in a German school. But you have to book a place before the au pair comes. And this is in an official school, language school. Those who live in Belgium know. And the host family, you have also to attach the timetable of what the au pair has to do. Like, for example, what time does she wake up? What does she do in the morning? When does she go to school? And you as a couple, when do you leave home? When do you go to work? When do you come home? I mean, not forgetting the 4 hours. So when you're making the timetable, make sure everything fits in those hours that she has to, to work or to help around. Actually, it's not working, it's helping to help around the house. So whatever you fill in the timetable, because you have to put the day, the time. She wakes up at 7, she does this, she does ABCD, she goes to play with the child, she takes the kids here. But everything you fill in the timetable must fit in the time or must fit the hours that she has to work. So it has to coordinate, basically. I think that's normal also. If the host family has kids or has a child who is below the age of 6, this child must be booked in a daycare. This child must be going to the daycare, because the au pair is not a nanny, the au pair is not a babysitter, the au pair just comes in to help around, with small activities, like I said. So you can't keep your kids at home full time because the au pair is there. The au pair has to go to school. She has also to have actually a private life. She has to have a life also. She has to be free to say, I'm going to visit a friend, or I'm going here. Of course, I mean, when you live with someone, you have to plan everything together. So you have to also attach a contract from the daycare to prove that the kids who are below 6 have already a daycare or go to the daycare. You also have to attach the insurance policy that you have on, actually all the insurance policies, you have to attach them when you're applying for the work permit. So to sum it up, the documents you need as a host family to apply for the work permit are application form, the contract, insurance policy, IDs, certificate of good conduct for every adult, registration in the language school, timetable of activities that the au pair will be doing, and daycare contract. Once you have all the documents needed, then you submit in your application to the Ministry of Work and Social Economy. And this you can do also 2 ways. You can apply online, you send everything per mail, or you can send the documents hard copy per post. But either way, when they receive your documents, they always communicate. That one, I have to give kudos to the Ministry of Work and Social Economy. They really communicate well. They tell you, we have received your documents, and when there are other documents needed, they will tell you, please provide us with this and this and that. And once your file is complete, they also communicate again to say, hey, your file is complete. You should expect an answer within 8 weeks. Normally, it takes up to 8 weeks. And within 8 weeks, for sure, you receive an answer. And when you receive the work permit, what happens next then? You send the work permit to the au pair to apply for the visa. But I said the work permit is free, but you have to pay for administration costs. So before you send the work permit, you have to go to the bank, pay administration costs into the account of the government, and then you receive the original receipt, and you send this original receipt with the work permit you also send the copy of the insurance to the au pair to be able to apply for the visa. The au pair will need visa application form, work permit, of course, insurance policy from the side, medical report, proof of administration costs payment, and then of course with the flight booking, you also have to attach the flight booking. When all the documents are complete, I mean, the chances of getting the visa are like 99.999. I mean, with the work permit, you can almost never be denied the visa. Yeah. So once the au pair comes, what happens next? So when the au pair comes, what happens is, in most cases, the people from the Ministry of Work and Social Economy will come to control, because there is a clause in the application form where you sign that you give them you agree that they should come and control anytime they want once the au pair is arrived. So the chances high that when the au pair comes, the ministry people will come to control, and when they come to control, they don't actually notice, they don't give you notice. They come, control, they will interview you, they will speak with you, they'll speak with the au pair, they will interview the au pair separate. I'm telling you what happened to me, and I've heard also from other people, like it's almost the same. They interview the au pair and they ask where the au pair sleeps. They'll go to the room. I mean, with us, they had to ask, they asked the au pair, they interviewed the au pair alone, and then they asked her to take them to her bedroom. So she took them to her bedroom. They asked, where's your bedroom, where do you shower from, you know, all the details. She showed them everything, and then they came, then they asked for her bank account. They said, do you have a bank account, where's your card? She gave, and then they asked me if I could show proof that we've been paying her. I showed that. Yeah, they also asked the payment for the daycare to prove that the child goes to the daycare. I also had to show that. They also asked the proof that the au pair goes to school already. So also all that you have to, when the au pair comes, all those things you have to do, school and the bank account, you know, because you have to get those things first, so that by the time they come to control, you have everything ready. That's the procedure. That's basically about it. That's what I can share. Maybe I forgot. I don't know if you guys have more questions or anything. Feel free to send an email if you have a question, or if you want to know more about the au pair procedure or the host family procedure. I'm open to share whatever information that I have. And I would like also to say something. You guys, if you live this side of the world, you know how difficult it is with kids. I mean, when you have young kids and they're not in school and they're not in daycare, they are literally like your second handbag. And there are people who have other obligations, like working in the evening, working in the night, or working during the weekend, and you must have a babysitter all the time. It's not cheap having a babysitter here. I mean, it can be for every weekend. And some people are lucky, they have a family, like if you have your mother or your father, or I don't know, in the neighborhood, they can help. But there are people who don't have a family here like us. Like, yeah, if you don't have some people around to help, trust me, and you're able to have an au pair, why not give it a try? It's worth it. Really get it from me, it's worth it. Of course, I mean, it's not easy bringing someone you don't know into your family. It also comes with other, you know, negative experiences, I can say. I mean, they are also human, they are different, and they have to fit in, and kids have to get used to them and stuff like that. But you just have to be lucky and have a good au pair. It's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. Bringing an extra person in your family also comes at a cost. I mean, everything will go high, the bills and everything. But then you have some comfort also. If you want to go somewhere or you're late to pick your kids, the au pair can always pick the kids. The au pair can go do shopping whenever you can't. If you have other obligations in the weekend, the au pair can keep kids for a few hours. You know, I mean, it gives also another kind of comfort. And I mean, yeah, it's worth it. If you can, if you're able, why not try it? If you need to know more, or you have questions, or you want to start the procedure, or you want to try, send me an email. I'll gladly share the information. Or if you have questions that I've not answered, if I can answer it, why not? You know. So that was it from us today. And hey, thanks for watching. And please tell us what you think. If you have questions, you can actually even put the questions down there. I mean, in the comments also. If you have questions, you can If you have questions, feel free also to comment on the video and tell us what you think or questions you have. With that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.